Hey, bold ones out there. I am Takenya, and this is Voice Notes from the Throne. Now, Voice Notes from the Throne is real talk from a woman who has reclaimed her crown. Soft voice, hard truths, and sacred clarity is what I'm bringing you with soul authority. And this one is personal. This one's personal, and this one's very sacred to me because I remember the weight of silence. I remember how heavy it was, how heavy I was physically, mentally, just the weight of silence. And I remember what it cost me to stay quiet, just to be easier to love, just to keep the peace, just to keep things manageable, just to be less of myself. We're talking about the weight of silence and what it's costing you not to speak. Okay. Now, I was once told that my voice was too much, too loud, too emotional, too powerful. And I'm willing to bet that some of you can relate to that, being told that you're too much, too loud, too emotional. And what's most surprising is to hear someone say, you're just too powerful. And for a while, I believed the people who said that to me. I believed the lie that was told to me by people who I thought had my best interests in mind, by people who I thought loved and adored and cherished me. And so what ended up happening was I just kept trimming myself down. I kept shrinking myself, just really trying way too hard to fit in places that honestly they just were not designed to hold me. They couldn't, they didn't have the capacity to embrace the fullness and the greatness of me, all of me. And this was very much what I would call a square peg, round hole type situation, if you know what I'm saying. I was never meant to fit in those spaces. I was never meant to stay in those places long term, but I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know it yet. But I've lived long enough to know this. Silence is at peace. Silence is at peace. But a lot of the times, silence is survival. Silence is at peace. What happens more often than not is that silence becomes survival. And anytime that I've edited or anytime that I've selectively muted myself from a place that was rooted in fear, from a place that was rooted in lack, it was done from a place of survival. I am not sorry that that version of me existed. That version of Takenya is no more. But today, my loves, what we're going to do is we're going to break that survival pattern. Something had to change within me. And I'm hoping that by me lifting my voice today, that we can go far together. I'm right here with you. I'm right here with you. So let's go. Let's look at what is this? Habit number one, silent habit number one, which is over, whoo, over explaining. I know somebody identifies with this. I know someone identifies with over explaining. And I can tell you that personally, this ran very deep for me because when I was a child, I would get in trouble for asking questions. That sounds weird, right? As a child, I would get in trouble for asking questions that the adults didn't know the answers to. I was just curious. I mean, I'm 8, I'm 6, I'm 7. I have questions. I'm seeking clarity. As a teenager in ministry spaces and music spaces, I don't know if you know this about me, but at the age of 15 years old, I was in charge of all the music for church. From the rooter to the tutor, from the ushers marching in, from the ushers marching in the back door to the choir coming in from the other side. I was in charge of that entire experience, that entire sonic playground, that entire sonic 1 act, 2 act, 3 act play of the business of the Black Baptist Church. That is a lot of responsibility at the age of 15. 15? Can you imagine being 15 years old and having to tell your aunt she's singing the wrong note? You want to mind your elders, but at the same time, you have to correct. You have to correct your. You have to correct your elders when there's an error. You have to correct the mistake because you want things to sound good. But I'm 15, and so that dynamic could be something. Okay. In military spaces, I'm a veteran as well. 10 years in 94th Cash as a 68 Juliet. In military spaces, I was trained to talk just enough, just enough, but never too much, never too much, as the great Luther Vandross would say. And what ended up happening was I started over explaining. I would use 100 words when all I needed was 10. I was trying to compensate for something. 10 words would do. I would just try to sound more polished and I would just I would try to earn my space as if I didn't already belong. I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know that at the time. I remember one time I was at this gig. Yes, I'm a musician as well. I was performing at a private gig and they loved my sound. I can sing a great love song. Turn down the lights, turn down the bed, turn down these voices inside my head. I mean, I can give it to you, all right? Or I can make it hype. Whatever the occasion calls for, I can deliver. I know the power of my voice. But at this gig, in between songs, somebody pulled me to the side and they were like, why don't you give us a little smile? Smile a little bit more. Smile a little bit more in between the songs. You seem, and the word that was used was intense. You seem intense. That's another veiled, you're too much. You seem intense. Okay. And the whole thing was, I wasn't intense. If there was anything that was intense, I was focused. That was intense. That was intense. I ended up shrinking myself yet again to try and conform and fit into what someone else saw as the package that I should reside in. I was explaining myself, and it ended up softening my shine. So if you're over explaining, I want you to know what the truth actually is. The truth is, if you have to explain your brilliance in order to be respected, that's not your stage. If you have to explain your brilliance in order to be respected, simply put, that is not your stage. Here is silent habit number 2, which is waiting to be picked. And I'm going to tell you something real. I'm going to share something that's rather intimate and personal. I got remarried not because I wanted a partner per se, but I got remarried because I was tired of doing everything all by myself. And I wasn't completely by myself, but from the day to day, everything that it takes to make a household run on the day to day basis, it was me. Yes, I had support in my parents and my sisters and other family members. But when you have two kids, it's making me think of that Reba's TV show. A single mom who works two jobs or works real hard, who loves her kids and never stops. That was me working hard for those two kids. And it was exhausting because I was one person doing the job of many. I was one person doing the job that I wasn't created or designed to do. I wasn't supposed to be a single parent with two kids. That was never on my bingo card, but here I was. Okay? Some of you know this firsthand. The single parent shuffle is absolutely not for the faint of heart. It's not. It's hard enough when there's two people. And, when there's a two parent household, things can be hard enough with two functioning adults in the same house, same residence, to tend to the needs of children. And most of the time, when people are getting married, they're not thinking, I can't wait to get divorced. And I'm willing to tell you this, I'm going to go another further. Most of the time, when people are having children, they're not thinking, oh, I can't wait to raise them by myself either. So people aren't getting married to get divorced, and they're not having kids to be raising them by themselves most of the times. Most of the times. There are some people who are positioned differently, and that's fine. But I'm talking about my lived experience. And what I wanted and what I craved was softness. I wanted a place where parenting, the lift of parenting, was something that was shared. I had two brilliant kids at the time. And I thought I had finally, I had finally been picked. I thought I had been picked, he's chosen someone who's already had two children with another man. Ooh. I was basing, I'm going to get to it. But in doing that, in not moving in alignment to what was divinely designed, I ended up picking somebody else's peace over my own power. I did that. And I owned that because I wanted to be picked. Pick me. I wanted to be picked. Even in business, I used to post into the ethers on social media, and I was expecting the internet to give me immediate feedback. What I would do a lot of the times is check my Stripe notifications, and then I would ask myself, did anybody sign up yet? How many likes did it get? Did I say enough? And here's what I ended up learning the hard way. Your voice is not a lottery ticket. It's not. It's not a lottery ticket. You're just scratching off and hoping, Maybe this is it. This is the one. Your voice isn't a lottery ticket. It is a light switch. It is a light switch, and you don't wait for somebody else to flip that sucker on, okay? You don't have to wait for somebody else to turn you on. You walk right on over to that light switch and you flip that thing on. You flip that thing on your doggone self like it's that Krispy Kreme hot now light, okay? I don't know what you're waiting on. I don't know what you're waiting for. But to be clear, what was happening for me in this pick me phase, what it was costing me was I was correlating my worth and my ability to be chosen in marriage, or I was correlating my value with a Stripe notification or a number of likes or how many people saw it or how many views it got. That is vanity. It's a vanity metric for sure. But the truth is, I should have been choosing my own peace and my own power. But hey, I'm here to tell you today there is a new Takenya here, and she certainly knows better. And she is indeed doing better. She knows better and she's doing better. Here is silent habit number 3 and what it's costing you. So, editing the truth. Hmm. Editing the truth. I can say this. I used to think that I was protecting people by not telling the whole truth. I used to think I was protecting people by not telling the whole story. So, what may have shown up on social media is I received flowers upon my arrival from a business trip. I got flowers. You post a picture of you and the flowers and a smile on your face. But the flip side of that, the other side of that story is not even 24 hours later, the truth is I was treated with contempt and disregard, not even 24 hours later. So I get flowers today and literally your feet the next day. There's more to that, but I won't get into it. In my last marriage, I got really quiet. And people who know me know that that is not like me at all. In my last marriage, I got really quiet. I stopped singing at home. I stopped singing at gigs. I stopped singing. I stopped singing. And I stopped asking for help. And I let go of the parts of me that felt too extra or too big or too bright because I was editing the truth for public gaze. I edited that truth because I didn't want to embarrass him or me or me or me. I edited the truth because we're told what happens at home stays at home. What happens in your house stays in your house. And to some extent, yes, I absolutely get it. But if harm is being caused, you have to sound the alarm. I didn't want to have to explain why that vibrant, sparkly, radiant woman who was just on stage was hurting and suffering and slowly dying daily behind closed doors and out of the public's gaze. And that isolation was as loud as my silence. And I want to be clear here. I want to be very clear. Edited truth never sets anyone free. It never does. Editing the truth never sets anyone free. It won't set you free. It won't set them free. And it didn't set me free. The parts that I kept quiet were the parts that needed air. That feeling in your throat, that lump in your chest, the weight in the pit of your stomach. Your body is telling you that you have to give voice to the pain of all of it, all of it, all of it. The parts that could have healed someone or helped them avoid being in the same or similar scenario that I had just been in, but I wasn't bold enough to speak then. You best doggone believe I am bold enough to speak now. I am bold enough to speak now. The other cost of silence here is the one who's causing the harm, the one who is inflicting pain upon you, that person gets a free pass to continue causing harm and inflicting pain simply because I said nothing. And for a long time, I'm talking years, I said nothing. I didn't speak up. I didn't cry out. I didn't open my mouth. I didn't tell the whole truth. I edited it. I suffered in silence, and it cost me. It cost me. And so I ask you, what is the cost of your silence? Who's protected so that you have the illusion of peace? Who is helped because you verbalized the violation? And who gets free when you find the freedom of your voice? Who gets free when you find the freedom of your voice? These are questions that need answers, okay? Yes, they do. Before we close today, I just want you to breathe this in. Breathe this in. Your silence was once a survival tool, but here's what it's costing you: visibility, peace, power, and your purpose. You are here for a reason. My days are divinely designed and in alignment to my assignment. You are here for a reason. Okay? Now, you've tried being agreeable. And I'm not just talking about in our close, intimate relationships and partnerships. I'm not necessarily talking about those romantic relationships. You've tried being agreeable, but today specifically, I'm talking about mine. You've tried being enough when they said you were too much. You've tried it. You've tried making yourself smaller so that other people could stay comfortable. You tried making yourself smaller in order to be palatable to your audience. You've tried that already. You've been there and done that, right? Your voice was never meant to shrink in order to fit. Your voice was never meant to shrink in order to fit. It was built to resonate. So when I created the Sacred Voice check-in, it wasn't just to help people speak better. You can get public speaking anywhere. You can get it anywhere. People come to me because I help them remember. I help them remember their resonance. People come to me because I help them mind that gap between what's in their heart and what comes out of their mouth. And if you've ever felt that knot in your throat, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. If you've ever felt that tightness in your lips, if you've ever felt that ache in your belly when you didn't say what you know needed to be said, this session is for you. This Sacred Voice check-in, it's 25 minutes. It's $47. It's private. It's soul centered, it's strategy rich. We'll uncover the lie that's been silencing your truth, and we'll reverse it on the spot. The lie I used to believe, gone, gone, fixed, addressed. And it took me years to address that. All I'm asking you for is 25 minutes, because in 25 minutes, you'll walk away with real clarity, not just some inspiration and a feel good moment. Okay. The link is in the description of where you're watching this video. Drop a comment if you're ready to be heard, or just say this: my voice is sacred. My voice is sacred. It feels good. I'm Takenya Freeney, and this has been Voice Notes from the Throne. Real talk from a woman who's reclaimed her crown. I'll see you next time, and until then, speak boldly, rest deeply, love loudly, because silence costs too damn much. Bye.